myself a number of coils because I find it a little bit tedious coiling, putting it on to, coiling. But if you make too many, of course, they're drying out. Technique, if you use a larger piece of clay for coiling, is to cross your thumbs. Do it like that. If it goes flat, it's because you're not using the whole of your hand. So you coil. And then what you're doing is you're building up the sides of your pot. So it seems very obvious. If I put one coil on top of the other, I'm going to have a straight-sided pot. Okay. If I put my coils slightly out, it's going to come out. So you decide what sort of shape you want. I will always start with it directly on the top of my base. So I never have it coming out right from the bottom because it makes it really vulnerable. It will just collapse. So I always do 1 or 2 coils directly on top of my base, the edge of my base. And when I get to the end there, again, I'm not going to chop it off there. I'm going to take it over. Okay? And you will find that your join will be in different places. Then you're not creating one weak spot. So once I've done my first coil, I'm going to join it. Now, lots of people like water. Never use water with it. The only time you would ever use slip to stick one coil onto the other is if you're not going to join it. So you actually want to see the coils. Then you will need to score and slip it. Okay. So what I do now is I make sure I'm supporting the back of my clay. I take my finger and I work from the middle of that coil and I pull it down. And I go all the way around. And again, any gaps, that's where it is likely to break. So go all the way around the edge. Do that bit up there. When I'm doing the next layer of coils, I do want to be careful that I don't push the whole thing down. So all I'm doing is I'm taking the edge of the clay from here and I'm pulling it down without knocking out the clay under the coil underneath. As you get it bigger, you will need that support on the other side, so it's a good idea to get into the habit of doing that, because otherwise you're pushing it outwards. So again, I make a coil.